Attention! All things shared in this video are simply the opinions of the Unexplained files. The following footage is not tampered with, and all of the events and reactions are unplanned and genuine.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Unexplained Files, the greatest paranormal channel in the UK. Now, a while ago, we posted a short on the channel that talked about how DNA had been discovered in the UK, confirming that we do in fact have wild cats roaming about. And the reason I think this is something exciting to cover, and before I go into what we're going to be doing, the reason I think it's exciting to cover this is because we have people up and down the country and worldwide going out and exploring for various creatures and cryptids that could be on the run and on the loose that we don't know about. And I think it's very rarely when a creature is, or like proof of a creature is actually found, like proper undeniable proof, and we have that today. We have an article here by Discover Wildlife, and it talks about the fact that and it's, as you can see here, the DNA of big cat in the Panthers, probably a leopard, has been identified from a swab taken from a dead sheep in the Lake District. So that means if you're in the Lake District area, keep a bloody eye.
And even where we are in Devon, there's been recent sightings.
Yeah, well, I mean, even across like Dartmoor and stuff, there was, or Exmoor and stuff, there's always this tales of the Exmoor beast. But what was that, like an escaped creature from a zoo, or?
I don't know. I don't know whether it's part of, because like they've been seen for years, haven't they? Like big cat sightings. I know back in I think like it was around the 70s, wasn't it? Like a lot of people used to keep exotic pets,
right,
including big cats and that. And then they brought new laws or rules in that made it a lot harder for people to adhere to, take care of them. So a lot of people just set them free.
Right. Yeah.
So they think that's
where
potentially where, you know, it could have come from. So if I remember reading it right, a lady came across like the carcass one morning walking her dog or something, and then reported it in, and then they came out and done the DNA test. And I'm sure it said like years before that they'd found like a claw or something, which they thought was from like a big cat. But then that was all they had from it. But now they've got like DNA evidence.
I wonder if this article has any mention of where they could have come from, or whether it was just they were always about just in small numbers, or what. The funny thing is in the UK, you don't really hear a lot of talk of big cats or wild cats being out there. It's more like folklore talks about like dogs and creatures, canine creatures and stuff.
I wonder if that could even have been like, you've had them stories for years, like the Shuck and the Exmoor beast and all that stuff.
Yeah, it could very well be. I mean, if it's a panther as well, and it's a darkly coloured one, then
because that's what a lot, like when you see them videos, like you can't say for certain because usually they're quite far off, but they're always like of a black cat for the most part, and like you got the black panther, haven't you?
Well, and the thing is, just like all of the sort of like folklore and sort of creatures that seem to be found that people, I think, automatically jump to perhaps being canine a lot of the time, or I do anyway. They always talk about the same things as like a black creature with glowing eyes, and it would make a lot of sense if it was a cat, because obviously their eyes being reflective, if you had any light and it was shining in their direction, that's what you're going to see. So to see that they found DNA is quite intriguing, and I wonder whether there will be evidence of it found around the UK now as well, because obviously from here to the Lake District is a huge distance, like the West Country to the Lake District, that's a huge, that basically covers the entirety of the fucking west side of the country.
And I think because we spoke about it, didn't we? We'll probably go out and have a look for ourselves around around the local areas where sightings have been, you know, seen. Because there was one, like I think 7 days ago in Devon, so that's not, you know, that's.
See, when we did the Dogman case file, that was different. We went out and we were going to go find it, and that was kind of like, oh, imagine if we're going to see it. But I was never at any point was I nervous something was around. I could tell this time I'm going to be wandering about with this article in my head going, oh shit, is there something new?
But from what I've read anyway, they get spooked really easily as soon as they see someone.
Yeah,
they're off.
well, I mean, to have avoided detection for this long, it goes to show how much they don't want to be involved. I can't say I blame them either.
And the good thing is we've got that good camera, and that's got a crazy zoom on it, so if anything's off in the distance,
hopefully it stays off in the distance as well.
Then we'll easily be able to
That'd be a
capture
crazy
it.
one to find though, wouldn't it? We found a wild cat in the UK. Yeah, no, it does make me think. One, it makes stories of different folklore stories, even when it does come to things like hellhounds and stuff. Could they have just been big cats mistaken for sort of like canine creatures, and because in the UK we don't really have a history of big cats, could it just be that we instinctively tend to go for that because we don't have bears, we didn't think we had big cats, the only thing we know we have is canines. So,
and I know back in like the 1800s, maybe the 1700s, there was like a lot of exotic animals in this country, weren't there? Like people had like bears and God knows what.
I think even in the town that we live in, across the river, there was an exotic animal zoo.
I remember.
So not even like 5 minutes away from us, there was literally that. And I don't know whether that was late 1700s that was around. I'd have to look up and look into that a little bit.
I can imagine if a bear escaped, then obviously it would have just died anyway, because unless there's several of them, they ain't going to be able to breed or anything.
Well, yeah. But I wonder what this means for people who are going out and searching for cryptids and creatures of all varieties. What else are we going to find out there? And another thing that makes it interesting is the fact that if this has come about from creatures that have been let out, and like you say, like exotic pets that couldn't be kept and looked after properly, like if it was from the 1700s, they've fucking survived for a good amount of time, so that there must have been a large enough population.
Right. Yeah.
And also, what is a more interesting thought to me is, imagine if they've always been around, just in sort of like low level populations, and only now they've left evidence of being found.
Yeah, because anytime you ever see like someone's posted video or saw a black cat, and obviously you can't tell for sure, but you only ever see one, never seen video with a group or two or anything like that.
A cat's more, I mean, certain types of cats are...
They're very, like, what's the word?
I don't know if it's solitary.
Solitary, that's it.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the thing as well, it's like the amount of people that said, "Oh, that's bollocks," there's not big cats in the UK and that, and now there's DNA evidence of it. So what else could be out there that people said they've seen?
It is a nice little reminder of a couple things. One, if you are into cryptids and mythology and ghost stories and all that, and folklore and stuff like that, this could be a nice grounding moment of actually it could be something we didn't realise, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a freaking multi-plane existing crazy alien creature come down to spy on us, you know what I mean? Like, there is some grounds for reality, and also it's another reminder for everyone to think to themselves, we don't know everything that's going on, and we don't know everything that is about. Like, I'm amazed that they've been able to survive and just be unknown for so long. It's just nice to actually have found something. And I remember what was it? When we were on the live stream with G-Star and Monty, they showed us the clip.
401 files.
Yeah, 401 files of the creature that, or whatever that was that he
looked
saw.
like a bear though, didn't it?
To me it looked like a bear, yeah. But could it have been a big cat? That's the question. And if it wasn't a big cat, and let's say it was a bear, is it impossible for it to have been? Like, I mean, in the Lake District, that's a very open, wide expanse.
And it is up Yorkshire way, I believe.
Yeah.
I think I'm assuming that's where he filmed it, up that way. In Hull, so like north east, is where you've got that main like story of old Stinker, the werewolf.
Well, who knows? It could be something to do with that. We really don't know. But I think the reason it's so interesting this happens in England, or just the UK in general, is that obviously Scotland has a lot of sort of like untouched area and is sort of quite sparsely populated. Wales also has a lot of untouched area as well that's monitored, but England we really don't. Like, there are areas, you have like Dartmoor, you have your Lake Districts and places like that.
Down here it's a lot of farmland and that, really, isn't
it's
it?
not
like
undisturbed.
Private land.
Yeah, there's no vast expanses of forest and various things like that. So to have found something like this is really interesting, and it does make me question what could if we had more wild, untouched land that was just left to do its thing, what else would we find? It will definitely make you think if you're out camping in certain parts of the UK, like what could be around.
If I'd have been aware of that when I went camping on Dartmoor on my own, I'd have been 2 minds against it.
Yeah, just have like a stick with some bells on it that just ring all night long.
But where I was, there was a lot of like cows and sheep around. If I'd have woke up and there's a load of dead ones around, I'd have been like,
that's the worst place to be as well. Well, one, you could be woken up and you're most likely not the first target, but two, that's where the food is. We kind of have the luxury of not really being in danger of many things harming us. Like, other than the odd case of someone being trampled by fucking livestock, you're not really nothing's gonna get you. But to think there could be things like wildcats out there, or to have found evidence of wildcats out there, that changes all of it. But definitely a good reminder of keep an open mind and a grounded mind at the same time.
I think it could be a dodgy situation if you came up to one, because I've seen a few of them videos in America where like someone's come across a mountain lion and that, and it's like followed them for ages. But
I wouldn't be half surprised. Have you seen that video in India where the guys are on the bike?
Oh yeah, and it comes running out.
That's like that. That'd be absolute madness. Next time we find ourselves in a forest getting into the car and I just hear a boom, I'm going to be like, drive! What do you guys think about it? Do you have any evidence or crazy experiences out in the wild? If you live rurally or have been rural for any reason, for work or camping or anything, does knowing this information, having wildcats in the UK, maybe change some perspectives on things you've experienced? Could you have had encounters with big cats and not quite realised it? That is what makes me interested. I want to hear what people have to say about it.
Next time we're out, like last time in a forest or something, we're going to be thinking of this. If you hear like crunching through the trees,
oh no!
Like, oh god!
You're like, Jed. Well, I mean, where we are, I can't imagine being the case because we don't have any like forest or any.
Like
well, actually,
when we was walking down Bury Castle, that forest.
Yeah, that'd be the one. If you want any more of the details about it, you can check the article. Like I said, I'll link that in the description. But yeah, let us know what you think about this. Are there any creatures that you yourself are interested in, or think there could be something more to it? And have you gone out and looked for it yourself? I'd love to hear from some people who do actively go out and hunt for cryptids or look for evidence of different creatures. And what have you found? Share this stuff.
What are your thoughts on like Dogman and Bigfoot
and just creatures, even more grounded creatures that we know are about or could be about? What's your thought about that, especially in the UK? Because big cats and everything in the States, but in the UK it's a very different story. I was going to make a predator joke about certain celebrities, but I think I'll give that a miss.
Maybe that's one we should do a video on one time. I don't know what you guys think. If you've ever looked into David Paulides, like Missing 411, people that just either go out hiking, camping, hunting and that, and just disappear, never seen again.
I have some interesting folklore perspectives on that, but I won't go into that now. I'll save that for next time. But there we go, big cats in the UK, wild cats. If you yourself, like I said earlier, have any experience with creatures out there, or have ever gone looking for experience of cryptids or creatures or anything, please let us know in the comments below. I would love to hear about that, because that is something on this channel we don't really do. We did the case file on Dogman, and that was kind of us going out and exploring to see what we could find of the area, but that wasn't us expecting to encounter anything or looking specifically for evidence. That was more just
it'd have been a totally different experience if we'd have gone at night.
Yeah, if we'd have gone at night or had encountered anything of the sort, then that would have been very different. But yeah, maybe we will go out and take a look at some of the areas where there has been reported sightings and carry some loud clothing and some very, very heavy objects that we can potentially defend ourselves with.
We've got
allegedly.
The staff of production.
Staff of production, and I'll bring a mean stare to let it know how it is. There you go, folks. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to check the article once again, I will put that in the description. If you want to take a look at any of our case files, I'll put that up in an iCard up there. We also have paranormal investigations, which you may know us for. Another one which will be coming up soon, which I think is going to be pretty interesting. We may have a guest in an upcoming video, so we'll see how that one turns out. And we hope you've enjoyed this evening's video. We hope to catch you again on the next one. Thank you for all of your support of our channel recently. It has been getting a lot of attention, picking up a lot of pace, and we are happy to see it. And we hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening. Yes!